Welcome, everybody. It's your girl, Delores, just a pink girl in my pink world, here on every social platform. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Hit the Bros podcast with me, Delores, and the good brother, J News. J News, you got anything to tell the good people this morning?
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is I, your good brother, J News, back at it again here another week on the Hit the Ropes podcast. Me and Delores will be breaking down what was the week in pro wrestling. So let's get the show on the road.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to King. That's my nephew. His birthday is on the 21st. But you all will be seeing a little bit more J News today. Your girl's not feeling the greatest. But I'll be here, okay? So when y'all come in, I'll come up. I am here, okay? So let's get to the Hit the Rope Studio podcast. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's me, J News, over here in the studio. And it's time for the what? It's time for the review. Ladies and gentlemen, we start out with WWE, and we're going to start out with their first show, Monday Night Raw, on 1690 on the 13th. We had the WWE Intercontinental title match. Dominic Mysterio defeated Penta. Rhea Ripley defeated Kairi Sane. Bronson Reed defeated Jimmy Uso. Bayley and Laura Valkyria defeated the Judgment Day of Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez. And for the WWE Heavyweight title, number one contendership triple threat match, it was CM Punk defeating Jey Uso and LA Knight. J News, did you see this? What did you think about it?
I saw bits and pieces of Raw this week. The only thing that stood out to me was CM Punk winning that number one contendership match for the World Heavyweight Championship. I think it was this episode of Raw, right, Dolores, where the Vision turned on Seth Rollins.
Yes, that was after the match, after they stomped CM Punk out.
Yeah. So that happened. So and also there seems to be some belief out there that Seth Rollins is currently injured. He has an injured shoulder. I'm not sure, as we all aren't sure as to what's real and what's not injury wise with the WWE talent. So we'll see as to how that goes. Bayley and Lyra continue to do what they're doing from a character standpoint, and their tag team, I'm sure they'll be getting shots at those women's tag team belts sometime soon. Bronson Reed defeating Jimmy Uso was more of a precursor to what was happening later on in the night. And Rhea defeating Kairi Sane, that continues that particular feud between the Rhea Ripley and Io Sky and the Kabuki Warriors side of things. And they're keeping Dominic Mysterio hot as of right now, as he defeated Penta to retain his Intercontinental Championship. And we will see as to how or where Dominic goes from here. So up next, I believe we will be doing NXT. Yes. For those of us who watch NXT on Tuesdays on the CW, we had NXT 807, which took place on the 14th of October. Josh Briggs defeated Matt Cardona. That was basically Matt Cardona's comeback WWE match, if you want to call it that. El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. Defeated Lexis King in an interesting bout there. Blake Monroe defeated Zarya with some interference from Sol Ruka, sort of, kind of inadvertent, really, but that they continue to build towards that breakup between Zarya and Sol Ruka. Chase U, Kale Dixon, and Yuri Connors went up against Hank and Tank and the Culling. That ended up in a no contest. And then we had the WWE NXT Women's Title number one contendership battle royal, which ended up with Tatum Paxley winning her match as the other ladies who were in the Rumble are as follows. We had Ariana Grace, Cassie Lee, Heather by Elegance, Izzy Dame, Jada Parker, Jessie McKay, Jordan Grace, Callie Armstrong, Carmen Petrovic, Kalani Jordan, Kendall Gray, Lash Legend, Lee Ying Lee, Mara Sade from TNA, Thea Hale, Victoria Crawford, Ren Sinclair, Zaya Brookside, and Zarya, being that Sol Ruka, after inadvertently interfering in Zarya's earlier match, gave up her spot in the NXT Women's number one contendership battle royal. Tatum Paxley was her winning was very surprising, and by all accounts, it was very entertaining to see her celebration and see her celebrate with Lyra Valkyria, who came out after Tatum won, and they celebrated in the ring as Tatum is now the number one contender for the NXT Women's title. Who is currently the NXT Women's Champion right now? I forget for whatever reason, but I'm trying to remember right now who is the NXT Women's Champion right now.
Who beat the JC Jane? Did anybody beat JC? I can't remember.
I think JC's the champion.
Yeah, so she got beat for the TNA title.
Yeah.
That was what got me. She got beat for the TNA title, so she's still champion.
Yeah, because JC was out there after Tatum won, and she was out there with the other two members of whatever you want to call their faction now. And whatever you want to call their faction name now. And she was out there. I remember her posing with the belt above her. Yeah, she had her belt in her hand, but above her head, and things of that nature. So yeah, so it's JC Jane. So JC Jane will eventually take on Tatum Paxley. I'm not too sure if it's going to be on the next NXT PLE or whatever have you, but that's going to be her next contender there. And yeah, that was NXT for this week on the CW. On to the next, we have SmackDown, which happened on Friday, October 17th. We had a WWE Women's Tag Team title match. It was Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair versus Zaruka of Zoruka and Zarya. It was a very hard-hitting affair between all the ladies here. Lots of in-ring prowess shown about by Sol Ruka. Good chemistry between Sol and Charlotte Flair specifically, which is what I think the match was somewhat intended to show, but the way that they were leaning there. Zarya showing off her power, Alexa Bliss showing off her finesse and her ability to just be more or less of a ring general in all this. But Alexa and Charlotte retained over Zaruka, and the champions actually helped the challengers to the back after a tough fought victory. So no love lost there between all of them. They walked away all together at the same time. The WWE United States title match was a surprise to all of us. Ilya Dragunov returns after more than a year away, after a rehabilitation stint and ACL surgery. He went one-on-one with Sami Zayn in what could be deemed the best TV match the WWE has put on all year long. Ilya Dragunov defeated Sami Zayn. There was a title change. Ilya Dragunov now the United States champion for the WWE on SmackDown. Ilya Dragunov has a couple of physical changes now. He has a neck tattoo. He's also put on some muscle and things of that nature. So we will see as to where Ilya is able to take the United States Championship. He's good for continuing to do the weekly open challenges. Ilya's that type of a wrestler. I've been a big fan of him since watching him back in his WXW days. And hopefully he continues to do positive things for the WWE United States Championship. The Motor City Machine Guns celebrating their 1-year anniversary with the WWE. They defeated Los Garzas in a tag team match of Angel and Berto. And then for the undisputed WWE title match, it was kind of an impromptu match between Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes. But Drew won via DQ, but there was no title change there. So that was the length of SmackDown. On to AEW. AEW Dynamite this past week was on October 7th. This is AEW Dynamite 315. So we had the Gates of Agony, GOA, Bishop Khan and Total Leona, along with Ricochet. They defeated the Hurt Syndicate of Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin in a tag team match. First time the Hurt Syndicate has ever been pinned in their AEW run. So that was of significance there. Claudio Castagnoli defeated Roderick Strong in what was a match that was about 15 years in the making. They hadn't really touched one-on-one since their days in ROH. So even skipping the NXT runs that they individually had and all that. So it was interesting to see them in a one-on-one match here. And they brought the fight like I thought they would. And it was one of those knockdown, drag out kind of affairs. And they got a lot of time also there. Did Claudio Castagnoli and Roderick Strong, as Roderick Strong continues his feud with the Death Rider. So, but another loss for Roderick Strong there. The Jurassic Express of Jack Perry, Jungle Jack Perry, that is, and Luchasaurus, along with Kenny Omega, they defeated the Don Callis family, members of Hechicero, Josh Alexander, and Mark Davis. This goes into the storyline of where Jack Perry is trying to get the trust of Kenny Omega. At one point during the match, Jungle Jack took a bullet for Kenny Omega, meaning that he took a hit from the opposing team to save Kenny Omega. And Kenny Omega was still having issues whether or not he would back up and or defend Jack Perry, but he ended up coming back in a good way and being able to get the win for his team. Jamie Hayter defeated Sky Blue in what was, in my estimation, Sky Blue's best one-on-one match in her AEW career. And that should not be something that is looked down upon. Jamie Hayter has one of those tendencies of bringing out the best in a lot of the ladies' talent on the AEW roster, and this was not short of that. So big props to Jamie Hayter, big props to Sky Blue. Jamie Hayter got the win here, obviously going into Wrestle Dream, and then we got post-match a promo cut by Tekla in the back and with some weird red and green lighting or whatever the case is. So there was that. Then the AEW Trios Championship match, we had the opposite champions, Shibata, Powerhouse Hobbs, Samoa Joe, defeat La Facción Ingobernable of Dralístico, Rush, and the Beast Mortos. I believe during this match, Rush dislocated his shoulder and he popped it right back in, and he kept on wrestling during the match. So it seems like the Mexican wrestlers over the last couple of weeks have been doing the old school hardcore thing where, if one of their limbs gets popped out of the socket or whatever the case is, they just try to pop it back in and continue the match. But it was a fun match nonetheless to continue on through for the main event of the night, and that was Dynamite, because they had an extra hour of Collision coming up after this. And I believe during the night as well here for Dynamite, they had another one of the promo bits in backstage with Chris Statlander and Tony Storm, where they were being interviewed by Renee Paquette. And that went well, as well as they did their interview for about, I would say, 2.5 minutes or so. They ended that interview very quickly. They took their microphones off and they headed to the ring, and then they battled it out and stuff like that until they got separated and whatnot. So that was a fun episode of Dynamite there. AEW Collision only lasted for an hour. It was an extra hour after Dynamite. So this was on the 15th. We had the Death Riders of Daniel Garcia and Wheeler Yuta. They went up against the conglomeration members of Kyle O'Reilly and Orange Cassidy. The Death Riders won there. Megan Bayne defeated Harley Cameron in a very well contested match by Harley Cameron. So props to Harley Cameron there, continuing to improve in the ring. But Megan Bayne did get the win there. Bro Dito, the tag team champions, along with Mark Briscoe, they defeated the Don Callis family of Kyle Fletcher, Lance Archer, and Rocky Romero. We then had the Tailgate Brawl, which happened yesterday before Wrestle Dream. The Tailgate Brawl was actually on HBO Max. YouTube doesn't air the Tailgate Brawl. They only air the 0 hour stuff, where it's just the promo packages leading towards the matches. So if you ever want to catch the tailgate stuff now, you got to catch it on HBO Max or TNT, I believe, one of the two. And then we had on the tailgate brawl, Death Riders, Claudio Castagnoli, Daniel Garcia, Pac, and Wheeler Yuta. They defeated the conglomeration members of Kyle O'Reilly, Orange Cassidy, Tomohiro Ishii, along with Roderick Strong. The conglomeration now has a new Tron video that plays where all of the members are included in a new song. It was interesting. It was very reminiscent of Friends and things of that nature. So that was fun to see. We then saw Eddie Kingston and Hook in their first go around as a tag team. They defeated the boys from the frat house of Cole Carter and Griff Garrison. And then we had Harley Cameron and Willow Nightingale in their tag team match defeat the top gods of Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford. Shout out to Penelope Ford, man, for continuing to put her best foot forward in these matches and showing out with her athleticism and stuff like that. She's getting better and better as time goes on. Megan Bayne was Megan Bayne. Willow Nightingale still smiling when it matters most, and Harley Cameron bringing the wrath. FTR, Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood started their match on the tailgate brawl against Jet Speed, and this match leaked into the beginning of the main line pay-per-view, which was Wrestle Dream. Very, very well contested match. Tag team wrestling was of importance and spotlighted throughout the Wrestle Dream show, including the tailgate, including Wrestle Dream's main show. And this match started off the festivities for everybody. What a way to start off the actual mainline Wrestle Dream show. So props to those guys for doing that. On to Wrestle Dream, the pay-per-view. As I said before, the Jet Speed versus FTR match was actually the starter for the pay-per-view. I believe FTR won that match. So they started there. Then after that, Jamie Hayter went one-on-one with Tekla. That was a hard-hitting affair. Those two ladies left it all out in the ring. Best showing for Tekla as of yet again. Jamie Hayter has that propensity of bringing the best out of these ladies out here in these one-on-one matches, and she did it again, and she got the big win over Tekla. We then had the 500K tag team match, Jurassic Express against the Young Bucks. The Jurassic Express got the win here as they win the 500K. It was a tremendous tag team match, folks. So I would say if you're into tag team wrestling, this pay-per-view is for you. So go back and watch this match between Jurassic Express and the Young Bucks, the match between FTR and Jet Speed. Fantastic matches. We then had the AEW World Trios title number one contendership tornado 6-man tag team match. The Hurt Syndicate of Bobby Lashley, MVP, and Shelton Benjamin. They defeated the Demand in another banger match between all 6 men. We'll see the Hurt Syndicate get their shot for the AEW Trios Championships on Dynamite, so they'll be going up against the Ops on Dynamite. Then we had the AEW TNT title match of Kyle Fletcher against Mark Briscoe. Kyle Fletcher and Mark Briscoe, man, I can't say anything more highly about those two guys, man. They put in a hell of a match there for the TNT title. Kyle Fletcher retaining here. A great match between the two in their 5th bout, and I think this is probably the end of their series. So great win by Kyle Fletcher, but a tremendous showing by Mark Briscoe. For the AEW Women's World Title match, we had Chris Statlander defeating Toni Storm in another battle of attrition here. Throughout the match, Toni Storm just did not want to quit. She did not want to die, basically, but Chris Statlander was doing her best, showing out all of her moves, shelling out all of her high impact and power and things of that nature. She attempted by the end of the match to try to tap out Toni Storm with her new submission move. At one point, Toni Storm said, "Fuck it, kill me," specifically to Chris Statlander. Chris Statlander then hit her with the Saturday Night Fever pile driver after the submission, and Chris Statlander retained. After Chris Statlander retained her championship, she was celebrating in the ring. Mercedes Monet's money hit as Monet disrespected and interrupted Chris Statlander's win. It was time for Mercedes Monet to go into her TBS title match. She had challenged any champion around the world or in the AEW/ROH locker room to a match on Wrestle Dream. We then had Mina Shirakawa come out as Mina Shirakawa. At the time was the interim ROH Women's TV champion. Mercedes Moné and Mina Shirakawa, even though it was an impromptu match, they faced off before, so they have experience with each other. They have good chemistry. It was another tremendous match for the ladies. Yet another shout out to all the ladies on the AEW shows. So there's that. So if you guys are, if anybody watching is interested in ladies wrestling and women's wrestling, I'm sorry, make sure you watch all the women's stuff on this show. They were all tremendous here, including Mercedes and Mina Shirakawa. What a match between the two. A real battle of the wills between these two women. And by the end of it, unexpected for me, I thought it was probably going to go to a time limit draw, being that it was a TBS title / ROH women's TV title thing. But Mercedes actually got the win here over Mina. So now Mercedes 11 belts. So now Mercedes Moné is also the ROH interim women's television champion after her win over Mina Shirakawa. We then go over to the AEW World Tag Team title match. We have Bro Dito, the champions, go up against the Don Callis families, Kazuchika Okada and Konosuke Takeshita. People might call this the best tag team match of the night. Man, I tell you, it was something to behold. How much positive came out of the tag team division on this show alone. Bro Dito against Okada and Takeshita was, man, I don't even know how to describe it, but it was fantastic. It was great. It was immaculate. Those two teams, if you want to call them that, went head to head and they did the damn thing. During the match, there was incidental friendly fire between Kazuchika Okada and Takeshita, where Okada ended up laughing at Takeshita after Okada hit him with a Rainmaker, ending up with another mishap there where Okada got sucked into Bandito's finisher, the 21 plex, which he actually was able to get off with one hand, being that he still has issues with that shoulder. Bandito got the pin over Okada here so that Bro Dito would retain the championships. And now for Dynamite this week, because Bandito pinned Kazuchika Okada, we have a unified title match coming down for Dynamite between Bandito and Okada at Dynamite coming up this Wednesday. We then have the AEW World Title match. It was Hangman Adam Page going up against Samoa Joe. A hotly contested knockdown drag out affair between the two. Adam Page retained his championship there against Samoa Joe. After the match was over, though, we got a heel turn by the entire team of the Ops. So even though Samoa Joe shook Adam Page's hand and raised his hand after the match was over, the members of the Ops, that of Katsuyori Shibata and Big Will Hobbs, beat down Adam Page along with Samoa Joe to prove a point. So it seems that we're going to continue the feud there between Adam Page and Samoa Joe. Adam Page was then having to be needed to helped out by AEW Medical going forward from there. Got a comment here from all over J1. Bandito needs to learn how to sell when he has matches. I mean, at the end of the day, that's kind of part of what you learn in Lucha Libre. That there's not much selling involved. It's really pace, and things of that nature. So depending as to what style of wrestling you like, it is what it is in that particular regard. But for me, when it comes to work rate matches and stuff like that, selling isn't necessarily the most important part of it. It's really more how much time you get and where it all ends up after all the chaos and commotion of the action that was in there. You get to a certain point where the selling becomes important after how much energy you've expended, but not from the beginning of the match or even in the middle of the match. You won't see that too much, especially when it comes to lucha guys in that regard. But We go on to the main event of the pay-per-view. We have the I Quit match between Darby Allin and Jon Moxley. Okay, so this is probably the only match on the card that I had issue with. Darby Allin defeated Jon Moxley, which was the right decision to make. Darby needed that win. John didn't need to win. But the only thing about this match is that Darby took the majority of the punishment. It was a really one-sided match, and then it felt like it ended really quickly, and it ended abruptly. Even though that is it seems to be Jon Moxley's MO. Whenever he's in dire straits, he doesn't take a long period of time to quit and or submit. He does it quickly. That seems to have been the trend when it comes to those styles of matches. But I feel like Darby taking the majority of the punishment in this match, and John barely taking any of the punishment in this match, didn't sit well with me, and it lacked for me. So that's probably the only negative I would have about Wrestle Dream in total. Would just be that Sting came out during the match to make a cameo appearance and get rid of the Ghost Riders. And that was a cool moment. And he gave Darby the bat on some no look pass type deal, so that was cool. But outside of that particular moment in the match, everything else was really just one sided, and I wasn't too much of a fan of it. Like I've seen Darby get killed enough throughout the years. Like I wanted this to be more of a back and forth between the two, but it ended up where it ended up, and we got to the result that we got to. So Darby Allin with the win here, and he walked out with the AEW flag over his head in victory. So that was
when we got to Sting, and he was taking a great amount of time in the darkness to get up in there. I was like, okay, this is taking too long. That's the initial part of like going downhill, where I was like, okay, I know it's Sting. I know y'all trying to get him in the ring, but first of all, it took a long time to get him in there. Then the lights come on. Oh, it's Sting. And then the announcers begin to talk about how gray his hair is and how he's older. And then it made me feel like I can't save him at this point. If y'all are calling him a grandpa. So then I was like, okay. Then when he got out, he got face to face with Marina. I was like, okay, maybe we're going to get a little something here. But instead, he just picks her up over his shoulder like a dad and walks out with her. It's like she's throwing his tantrum over his shoulder. I was like, where is this going? Why are we doing this? What is the purpose of this? And then the whole screaming, if you go back and look at the match, it looks like water. Like, it's pretty much water that he's floundering in. And they're screaming, he's in just a pile of glass. The glass is cutting him so profusely. And I'm like, it's water. It's water. He's not getting cut up. Ain't like no piranhas in there. He's fine. And it made it towards the end, made me not want to watch it. Again, like I've seen Darby get killed 1,000,001 times. So what's the difference in this one? But normally John at least takes some kind of like
he usually takes a good amount of punishment in these matches. He barely took any here. So that's why I wasn't a big fan of the match. I was like, this is too one-sided for this to be an I Quit match. It just it didn't make much sense to me.
It really didn't. And it was just like, oh. And then also the whole Kenny begging the Bucks to come and help Jurassic. Sir, when you were getting buckshot lariat the last time we saw you before you left, they didn't even help you then. So what do you think they're gonna help you now? Like that's the confusing part. We still got this hanging where he now supposedly do the BTE. He now knows that you all stood there while he got buckshot lariat and didn't do anything. And now he is still y'all friend and asking you all for help. That don't make no sense. I need y'all to close that storyline.
They'll wrap it up eventually. They just got back to doing the whole BTE stuff about a month ago and whatnot. But the Bucks and Kenny, like the the longer form of storytelling when it comes to that.
Yeah, because they were doing it in the beginning, but when he first came out, and they were just like, oh, and you remember they were having this haunted dream that he had found out that they were like behind it of some of the stuff that happened. And so I was like, okay, when he came back, we're gonna just pick it up. We're gonna keep pick it up where we left off at. But they never did. And then now it seems like he's asking them, like almost like, be my friend, come help me. I want to help this person. Come help me. Go back and help them. Like he literally like go back and help them. And they looking at him like, who are you? We don't care. And he almost seems like a kid begging for friends. Like, sir, they don't like you. Now the Jurassic Express likes you. Just stay where you at. Just stay where you at. Because it seems like none of your friends are cool with you anymore. Just let it go.
Yeah, it's a different story now with it's a different story now with what's going on between Kenny and the Bucks. There's emotional turmoil, as they call it, between the three of them and all that jazz. And obviously,
it's just that interaction to me was weird because it's like you can let the Bucks go backstage or gone, and then he runs out to try to help them. But to involve them in the story part of it, where he's like, "Go back, come and help them, go back," and they looking at him like, "We ain't going nowhere. We just fucked them. Do you think we really gonna go back and help them? And we're the bad guys like that?" And then they kind of just walk off and let him do whatever he wants to do. I'm like, we could have did without that part. That was this. We didn't need that part. We could have just did the run out, them fight, them come out on top, and we didn't need to involve the Bucks whatsoever. Because I think their wrestling, their style, their excitement to see them is downhill at this point. When they did the whole coming back, changing, things didn't just seem the same like it was before.
All right, so what's next on the...
Now, next, ladies and gentlemen, this is why I popped up. Because TNA didn't have a show, TNA didn't have a real show. The show was about Bound for Glory. It was called After the Glory, where they had a recap of what happened on Bound for Glory. And they also had interviews, backstage segments, and more that people hadn't seen during the show. So, and I think next week when I saw the preview for the stuff, they won't really have a show next week. This goes into, normally they have wrestling after pay-per-views. But there was a story that came up that caught my eye today that WWE is trying to buy TNA. So I don't know if these next two episodes of just packages and stuff like that, if they are just stalling time to figure out what they're going to do, or if this is just them giving wrestlers time off. But it seems like more and more wrestlers are being seen on WWE NXT, and they seem to be wanting to acquire another business. So that was the hot topic after it came out was WWE acquiring another company. But ladies and gentlemen, J News will talk to you about Bound for Glory.
All right, folks. So Bound for Glory took place last Sunday, I believe, on the 12th of October. They had a countdown show on YouTube. So it was the TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Championship match. The Inspiration of Cassie Lee and Jessie McKay defeated the Elegance brand of Hella by Elegance and M by Elegance. They then had that was the match there. Then Bound for Glory started on Triller TV for the TNA International title match. Steve Macklin defeated Frankie Kazarian. So now Steve Macklin is the new TNA International champion. Tessa Blanchard with Victoria Crawford in her corner defeated Gia Miller in her debut match on TNA, if I'm not mistaken. And Gia Miller had Jody Threat in her corner. And from all understanding that I have, reading different articles and looking at video highlights, it seems like Gia Miller had a good showing. Hey, Leonica. So that's that for them. Call Your Shot Gauntlet match. We have Frankie Kazarian and Nick Nemeth defeat Frankie Kazarian. No, I'm sorry. Defeat AJ Francis and BDE and Cedric Alexander, Danny Luna, Eric Young, Jake Something, and Lei Ying Lee, Mance Warner, Mara Sade, Matt Cardona, Myron Reed, Rich Swan, Rosemary, Ryan Nemeth, Santina Morella, the hometown man, Travis Williams, and Trey Miguel, Zachary Wentz, Clay Clayton. So they had Nick Nemeth versus Frankie Kazarian at the end of it, and that ended up in a double pin. So that seems and sounds like a clusterfuck there. TNA Knockouts World Title match had the champion Kalani Jordan of NXT, and now TNA Knockouts champion defeat Indy Hartwell in what seems to be, from what the IWC was talking about, a not so well received match. We then had a hardcore war match. The System of Alicia Edwards, Brian Myers, Eddie Edwards, JDC, and Moose defeat Order 4 of Jason Hotch, John Schuyler, Mustafa Ali, Special Agent Zero, and Tasha Steeles. We then had the TNA X Division title match of Leon Slater, the champion, versus Javon Evans. That ended in a no contest because I believe the boys from Dark State interfered in this match, if I'm not mistaken. And then we had the TNA World Tag Team title match / NXT Tag Team title tables match. It was the Hardys against Team 3D. So Team 3D eliminated Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy eliminated Devon. The Hardys eliminated Bully Ray. And at the end of the match, this was something that I did see directly via video. At the end of the match, Bully Ray and Devon left their boots in the middle of the ring, which is symbolism for their retirement as a tag team. So Team 3D will no longer be actively wrestling in the industry. Then we have the TNA World Title match, which had the challenger Mike Santana going up against Trick Williams. They finally did it. They finally pulled the trigger where Mike Santana defeated Trick Williams, and there was a title change where Mike Santana is now the TNA World Champion. Very heartwarming moment after the win. Mike Santana, with tears in his eyes, kneels down and he presents the TNA World title to his daughter, and they had a moment in the ring. So that was very wholesome and very emotional moment for Mike Santana, who's been able to resurrect his career in the last 2 years as a singles competitor, and now he is the face of TNA as their world champion. So that was Bound for Glory over on TNA. GCW had some shows during the weekend, as they usually do. Fight Club, The Art of War. That show went down on the 12th, which was last Saturday. We then had Austin Luke defeating Blackjack Mac and Devious Cass, Rulo, Sal Mistretta, and Zach Thomas. Joey Janela defeated Ryan O'Neal. One called Manders defeated Teriyaki. In the tag team death match, we had Bear Dozer of Bear Bronson and Matt Tremont defeat Emerson Jane and Shotzi Blackheart. So some mixed action there between the ladies and the guys. Marcus Mathers defeated KJ Orso. GCW World Title match, we had Effie the Champion defeat Man Like DeReese. GCW Tag Team Title GCW Rules match, we had DMP of Alec Price and Jordan Oliver defeat the Brothers of Funstruction, Rufo the Clown and Yabo the Clown, in a title change there. So now DNP are the GCW Tag Team Champions. Nick Gage Invitational 10, a qualifying death match. We had Mr. Danger defeating Shane Mercer. And then 6-man tag team death match, we had Charles Mason, Cruel, and Slade defeat Vinland 48, Atticus Cougar, Christian Napier, and Otis Cougar. And that was
I'll tell you, them names be killing me. I just call them VNDL48. They're just they went too far with the names. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna go on to Jay News's favorite part of the show, New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Yeah, we had the King of Pro Wrestling event take place this past Monday on the 13th of October, taking place, I believe, at the in Ryogoku. So IWGP Women's Title match, Shuri defeated Sari in one hell of a match. The ladies got about 15 minutes or so, but it was a really good, hard-hitting affair. Very traditional Joshi heavy striking match there between the two. Shuri wins the IWGP Women's title back from Sari, which will it's a key. Shuri winning the IWGP Women's title now is a key towards Wrestle Kingdom. So I will be keeping an eye on where Shuri ends up for Wrestle Kingdom 20. I think the match to have at Wrestle Kingdom 20 is Shuri versus the Phoenix Queen herself, Saya Kamatani. Hopefully they get a match with time at Wrestle Kingdom, which is why I think that Shuri got the belt back here. And for those who don't understand, Sari is not signed to any particular promotion. So it's easier for promotions to take championships off of Sari, being that she's not a signed talent and things of that nature. The Bullet Club War Dogs, Clark Connors, David Finley, and Taiji Ishimori, along with Gato, defeated Hiromu Takahashi, Shingo Takagi, and Titan in their six-man match. Riot and Ryogoku, no disqualification, no count-out match. We had Drilla Maloney, 44 caliber, defeating Sonata in a bloody affair. Bishiman, Hiroki Goto, and Yoshihashi, as Hiroki Goto made his return, along with Yo. They defeated TMDK members Hartley Jackson, Koji Fujita, and Ryohei Oiwa. NJPW World Television title match. We had Al Phantasm, the champion, go to a time limit draw with Hiroshi Tanahashi. So that went 15 minutes. The never open weight title match. We had Evil defeating Oleg Boltin in a title change. So now Evil is the new never open weight champion. For the IWGP Tag Team title match, we have the Knockout Brothers of Oscar and Yuto Ice. The champions retain their championships against Shota Umino and Yuya Uemura. If I'm going to mention anything, go back and watch that tag team match. I didn't think that Shota Umino and Yuya Uemura would show up and show out the way that they did, but they definitely put on a banger of a match against the Knockout Brothers. So this is a recommended match for me to y'all. For the IWGP Global Heavyweight title, we had Yota Tsuji go up against Gabe Kidd. Big Suge, as I like to call him, Yota Tsuji, got the upper hand here, and he defeated Gabe Kidd in what was another banger match between the two. So I would go on to go ahead and recommend that to y'all as well. And for the IWGP World Heavyweight title match, we had Konosuke Takeshita go up against Zack Sabre Jr. in what was, for some, match of the year. For me, it was definitely match of the night. Takeshita and Zack Sabre Jr. tore the house down, and Takeshita ended up getting the win here, with now Takeshita being the new IWGP World Heavyweight Champion by defeating Zack Sabre Jr. So hopefully Takeshita will go into Wrestle Kingdom as the champion. But we do know that Takeshita is now being challenged by Hiroki Goto. The Goto Revolution is still going down. So they will have a one-on-one matchup going into the Best of Super Juniors Tag League tournament. During the finals, they'll have that match between Goto and Takeshita. And obviously Takeshita is having his feud on AEW TV with Kazuchika Okada, but we won't see that probably until World's End or something of that nature. So that was King of
That was good. I really liked it. I did see it. If you all haven't heard me in the past few minutes, I got a voice again. Ladies and gentlemen, we're on. You know what time is it? I got my voice back just in time. You know what time is it? Preview time, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to preview everything that's happening in the world of pro wrestling. And we're going to start with my good brother, Jay News. I'm going to tag him in again for New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Yeah, so we have the Road 2 shows. So we have the show coming up in where I think this was this show I think took place this morning. Road and Ishikari, the Road 2 show, but we'll give you the results next week. So we have Masatori Yasuda going one-on-one versus Jewel Bird. Shomakato and Yuji Nagata go up against Katsuyori Murashima and Satoshi Kojima. JTO Girls Tag Team title match. We have Rhythm and Tomoka Inaba go up against I want to say it's IOI. I just don't know how to say it. And Azusa Inaba. And then we have Bomber Tatsuya, Ryoma Tsukamoto, and Thunder Basami go up against Daiki Nagai, Hiromu Takahashi, and Yota Tsuji of the unaffiliated. El Desperado, Hiroshi Tanahashi go up against House of Torture members Dick Togo and Evil. And then we had Taichi Takamichinoku and Yu Uemura go up against House of Torture members Doki Sonata and Yoshinobu Kanemaru. So that's the card for today's show. We have the Super Junior Tag League coming at the end of the week. I guess they broke down the brackets. So the first show is on the 23rd. It's going to be Hiroshi Tanahashi and Katsura Murashima going up against Shingo Takagi and Yota Tsuji. In a prelim match for the A block, we have United Empire's Jacob Austin Young and Templario going up against House of Torture members Doki and Sho. Block B match, House of Torture's Dick Togo and Yoshinobu Kanemaru will go up against Bullet Club War Dog members Robbie X and Taiji Ishimori. In the Block A match, Gato and Hiromu Takahashi will go up against Clark Connors and Daiki Nagai. Block B match is going to have Tiger Mask and Yamato go up against Kushida and Yuki Yoshioka. We then have in a Block A match, Master Wato and Yo go up against the Skateboard Bros of Dragon Dia and Ryusuke Taguchi. And then Block B match, we have El Desperado and Kukai versus Ichiban Sweet Boys of Kosei Fujita and Robbie Eagles. On the 24th, we'll have Hiroshi Tanahashi and Sho Makato go up against Shingo Takagi and Yota Tsuji in a prelim match. We'll then have Super Junior Tag League start with Block B action, where the Ichiban Sweet Boys of Kosei Fujita and Robbie Eagles go up against the House of Torture members Dick Togo and Yoshinobu Kanemaru. In the Block A match, Master Wato and Yo go up against Clark Connors and Daiki Nagai. In the Block B match, we have Tiger Mask and Yamato go up against El Desperado and Kukai. Block A, we have Gato and Hiromu Takahashi go up against United Empire members Jacob Austin Young and Templario. Block B, Kushida will go and Yuki Yoshioka will go up against the Bullet Club War Dogs of Robbie X and Taiji Ishimori. And then in the Block A match, we'll have Skateboard Bros of Dragon Dia and Ryusuke Taguchi go up against House of Torture members Doki and Sho.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're on to my favorite company, Game Changer Wrestling, GCW, ladies and gentlemen. And I only got this for you because they only had 3 matches listed. It's the Trick or Treat Street Fight with Shotzi Blackheart versus Emerson Jane. We have the GCW Ultraviolet title Doorway to Hell match with Matt Tremont versus Joshua Bishop. And we have a casket match with Atticus Cougar versus Charles Mason. Cannot wait for that. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back to New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Yeah, more Super Junior Tag League action. So we have the shows on the 25th. So that will be the prelim match, Katsura Murashima and Toru Yano versus Tetsuya Matsumoto and Zayn J. We then have a 6-man tag match here. El Desperado, Kukai, and Masatoru Yasuda versus House of Torture members Dick Togo, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, and Yujiro Takahashi. Oleg Bolton, Sho Makato, Tiger Mask, and Yamato will go up against Bullet Club War Dog members Oscar, Robbie X, Taiji Ishimori, and Yuto Ice. Hiroshi Tanahashi, Kushida, and Yuki Koshioka will go up against TMDK members Harley Jackson, Kosei Fujita, and Robbie Eagles. And then we have Block A action going down. Clark Connors and Daiki Nagai will go up against the Skateboard Bros of Dragon Dia and Ryusuke Taguchi. Master Wato and Yo versus the United Empire members Jacob Austin Young and Templario. And then we'll have Gato and Hiromu Takahashi going up against House of Torture members Doki and Sho.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, once it fills in, more matches, more people, as we review, we will go into it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's WWE and it is Halloween Havoc. Ladies and gentlemen, I suggest you come along to this, watch along, because your girl gonna look crazy. I already done figured it out. I am gonna look wild on this show. I got the nails and everything else, so we already ready for the Halloween on Halloween Havoc. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, these are the match listed so far on there. We have WWE NXT Women's North American title match, Sol Ruka versus Blake Monroe. We have the WWE NXT Tag Team title match, the Hardys, Jeff and Matt Hardy versus Dark Slate of Dion Lytics and Osiris Griffin. We have the WWE North American title Day of the Dead match where Ethan Page faces El Hijo Dr. Wagner Jr. We have WWE NXT Women's title match, JC Jane versus Tatum Paxley. And we have for the WWE NXT title match, Ricky Saints versus Trick Williams. Whoop that trick. That's what I feel. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to Spotlight. And little old me, just little old me, had to spotlight the man I love. I love men around the world in wrestling. But him, that's my TNA boo. It is Mike Santana, ladies and gentlemen. I put a little Puerto Rico in the background. Ladies and gentlemen, I love Mike Santana because he bet on himself. And not only that, but he is very much a family man and loves his daughter to death. And to see her in the ring and him bow to her and hand her the title was everything. Now, I love the caption of him bowing to his daughter, but I am very respectful of people's children. So I thought this was correct because her face is not showing. So I love to see him and to see that picture with him with the war paint on and the title was like so heartwarming because he's been through a lot. He's had some struggles outside of the ring. He's lost his dad, I think it was Jay News. Yeah, his dad. And
right, yeah, his father passed away, I believe, about a year or two ago.
Yeah, and that's when him and his then tag partner, let me pop up. There we go. His then tag team partner, and him were having troubles. And so he decided to leave and bet on himself, which I just want to point out because I think Anika watches this show. Anika told me out of the two of them, she loved, can't think of his name.
Ortiz?
Yes. She loved Ortiz. And she said Ortiz was going to be a superstar. And I told her she was out of her mind. Okay. And I think in the year we have proved out of the two who did the right thing. Because one bet on himself and is doing very well. And the other one, he stayed at home. And it didn't work out.
Well, to be fair, Monkey tore his pec. So he's been cleared since I believe it was like March or April. So since then, he's just been doing his training stuff because he has his training school and things of that nature and whatnot. And he's done some offshoot indie dates here and there. But yeah, I mean, for all intents and purposes, Mike has done himself a great service and building himself back up and proving to folks that he can that he can do it on his own and whatnot. So much props to Mike Santana being able to do that and obviously getting over his demons and things of that nature. And doing the damn thing and being, going from what's that Cody Rhodes line that he likes to use? I forget, but something to the extent of him being undeniable. So,
was it from I don't forget what it was. I have to look it up now. It's going to eat my brain away. So, but yeah,
there's that. So props to Mike for reestablishing himself and resurrecting his career and getting to the top of TNA.
Yeah, so I really appreciate it. Just seeing his growth and him being honest about some of his struggles and some of his things. Oh, there he goes. Undesirable to undeniable.
There you go.
Yeah. So he's the definition of it. And to get to him, see him even get the spotlight at NXT and do so well, and even behind the scenes seeing Shawn Michaels kind of like take to him, it was kind of cool seeing that he might have an opportunity to get to a level that I think he's always dreamed of and wanted. So as you all see, my spotlight today is Mike Santana. I got another spotlight, ladies and gentlemen. It's this man right here. This man right here. This man right here, Jay News. Jay News is so wonderful, so great. But I always let ChatGPT tell you all how great Jay News is. And let me start off by saying, hey, let me tell you something. Jay News, that man the truth. Ain't nobody breaking down wrestling, sports, and movies like he do. He ain't just good, he legendary with it. Straight out of New York, repping hard, but still got that southern charm. Real one, sharp with the mic, sharp with the tapes. If you don't know, now you know. J News is the best out here. Point blank. Period.
Well, gotta appreciate ChatGPT for that. So, shout outs to ChatGPT. As per the usual. As usual, folks, thank you for coming through and watching the stream and getting your weekly wrestling fix. That is the QR code, as Delores just promptly put it up on the screen there. My QR code, which I have to actually adjust, has all of my different socials, that being Twitter, that being Instagram, and things of that nature. You can also check me out on the True Heel Heat podcast. I should be on there this coming Wednesday to preview the New Japan Pro Wrestling Super Junior Tag League event and breaking down the bracket there. And yeah, check out my written movie reviews on Letterboxd. My link is also in my QR code there as well. If you guys want to read some movie reviews of some of the latest and greatest that is out in the theaters right now. And yeah, as usual, appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for participating and enjoying the conversation. And I'll see you guys next week here on the Hit the Ropes podcast.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna try something new today. For those, I always like to drop a little bit of knowledge when I get to it. Ladies and gentlemen, I normally have to read off to the side my part of the thing, but today StreamYard has a teleprompter. And so I'm going to use this. I don't have to be all over here when I talk to you all about why I chose the banner that I did today. So let me make myself big. Let me put my teleprompter on. Let me get over there. Here we go. Okay. So mine is by it's a rap lyric by Cardi B, and it's the song Imaginary Players. Okay. It says, my flop and your flop is not the same. If you did my numbers, I would pop champagne. If I did y'all numbers, I would jump out of plane. Suicide. If I fall from the distance that you and I are. Listen, I felt that this week. That was my song, because I felt like, listen, sometimes you just gotta pop your stuff. You gotta let somebody know you just quite ain't on that level, okay? When we get there, there's a distance between me and you, okay? Know that, accept that, love that. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go into some of the little spiel. As you all see in the corner, and that's on the opposite side of me, in the corner on my side, we have switched the banners. We went from breast cancer to now in the middle of the month, we switched it over to the domestic violence awareness ribbon. These are very close causes in my heart. I've had family affected by it. I have been through a lot of things in my life, and I really, 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 really hope that if you are in a situation, man or woman, that you are being domestically abused, please, please, please reach out to somebody. As I say, my emails are always open. If I cannot find a good way for you to leave, I don't mind reaching out to people, asking for help. Just please, please, please find somebody. Even if you don't feel like you can talk to family or friends, reach out to somebody. I know I'm available. There are other people in the community who are available. Please, please reach out to somebody. Do not become a victim of domestic violence, because you have a way to reach somebody. Somebody can help you. And if they can't help you, they can find somebody who can. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go into some of the people that I know. Miss Joy, she comes live every Monday and Thursday, ladies and gentlemen. Monday is crafting, Thursday is prayer. So make sure if you see all the prayer lives are up. So if you have a comment, please leave it under the prayer live. I think this week's prayer is on the 23rd, I think. Yes, the 23rd. So leave it under the 23rd's prayer. Please If you have family, friends, not just yourself, if you got a prayer for a family or a friend or somebody you care about, please put it in there and we'll add it to the list. Thursdays are prayers, Mondays are crafting. This Monday she will be having, I think, Sean Go Savvy on to do some crafts. So please check that out. Also, if you are still doing blocks, and scratch that due date. I always keep saying I'm gonna change it, but I haven't. She still are accepting blocks. If you have a service you want to auction off, if you have uh, if you do cups or plates or buttons or anything like that, please make sure you send it in to the address above. You also can email her if you wonder if that's going to be something you can do. Please let us know because we want to make as much money as we can for this boys' foster home. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Miss Shirley, the OG Gardener. It's live every Thursday at 7 p.m. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a hoot of a good time over there with Miss Shirley. She is like a second mom to me, okay? Please go over there, check her out, learn some new things, learn about life. Listen, I've learned that there are things that are in some of our foods that I didn't know about before. Learning new things to plant, how to plant them, what to do. Listen, between her and J News, by the end of 2026, I'm gonna be skinny and I'm gonna be up here popping my stuff. Okay, y'all ain't gonna tell me nothing. I ain't gonna have no clothes on. I'm gonna be out here tank top, booty shorts, all okay. And then when you be like, Lord, why are you wearing that? Blame J News and Miss Shirley because they done got me eating healthy and working out. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, going over there to Work Hustle Wrestling Network. Go there and gallop on over there and check out Work Hustle Wrestling Network. They do a lot of AEW content, so make sure you check them out. So like when AEW on and WWE is on, we are on. They are doing AEW. I am doing WWE. We have kind of just learned to split and compromise. It's a lot of things everybody loves. Ladies and gentlemen, shout out to the best moderator in the world, Jaleel757. He's also the best gamer. He is funny as all out hell. I'm gonna just say hell. Hell. Listen, y'all need to go there and check Jaleel757 out. He is the best. Not for sure Slim is still on, but go check out Slim, okay, ladies and gentlemen? It is GOAT1408. This is his QR code for his channel socials and different things. Check him out. But if you're into comic books, especially comic books created by Black content creators such as Johnny Quest Gaming and Slim Jim Longfoot, I think it's the generic strip club that they have on YouTube that they do like once a month content on. Please check out their studio, UGI Studios. They make comic books. Slim has made books. Some of the books I can't talk about on the internet. Books, okay? Books and comic books. Listen, check them out. They also edit other people's comic books and books. So please, please, please check them out. As we talked about before, we initially did breast cancer awareness. Please, women, get checked. For me, this is not just breast cancer awareness. This is cancer, period. My mom has survived cancer twice. I have had pretty much every woman in my family have cancer. Please, 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 please check yourself out, get checked out, encourage other women to check out, go together. Listen, as a woman, them exams, they ain't cute, okay? They're not fancy. You're getting your stuff smashed, okay? And it was comforting to know that somebody went with me to kind of just shared experience, okay? So please, go get your exam. Domestic violence awareness, please reach out to somebody. Don't suffer in silence. Okay. Also, if you have a domestic violence awareness place in your city or state, please support them. Breast cancer awareness, please support them. Here in Georgia, I have personally seen and I know of Emory Cancer Center. I know because I have been in this place. I have seen these people and how hard and diligent they work, how they give people meals, how they console families. They are great. And if you're here in Georgia and you're looking for somebody, if you happen to be in this circumstance, know that this is a place you can go to. Ladies and gentlemen, Halloween Havoc is coming. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be my best Halloween self. So you need to be there. You can't miss out on it. I mean, I got pink braids now. Imagine the shenanigans that I'm going to have on Halloween Havoc. Okay? I'm trying to dial myself back, J News. I'm trying not to go full force. I'm trying, J News, not to do the, bloody face, because that, 3.5, maybe, because normally they do 3 hours. 3 hours is a lot to be wearing out in, and I don't want to scare the little people. But I do got a scary intro. I do got a scary be right back. I do got a scary outro. Okay? Dolores got to do it up. You can't wait till you see the nails. Listen, I tried to go scary. Also, shout out to King. I'm working on his video right now. His birthday is on the 21st. His Tia has made him a diamond 3 to put on his shirt. Big pimping when you 3, okay? When you get to 3, you're no longer a baby, you're a big boy, okay? You get out the baby ways, okay? So anybody who knows King, when I put it up, please wish him a happy, happy birthday. Because I love my King so much. He's so cute. But again, if you don't know, I'm Delores from Delores Designs. And this is how you can get in touch with me. Okay. I ain't, I'm good. Some people say I'm great. But I'm a humble queen. Okay. But this is how you can get in touch with me if you can't see that small QR code. J News is over in the corner, and I'm trying to lean. I'm leaning the opposite way. See me? That's how you can get in touch with me. But J News, this is a great podcast. We kept it cute, kept it mute. I appreciate J News taking over most of the podcast. I am so grateful because we building a trampoline in my house. So I was losing voice and I barely could see, and they were building a trampoline. And I was like, J News, can you just please help me a little bit? And he said, no problem, which I appreciate him so much coming in the clutch. But J News, you got anything else you want to say to good people before I start acting a fool?
No, I'm good to go for today. Folks, have a good week. Enjoy the graps. Enjoy all the wrestling that goes on this week, as per the usual. We'll be back on Sunday to give you the rundown. So appreciate you.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, every 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sundays. We gotta come a little early, a little late. We'll let you know. But ladies and gentlemen, you know what time it is. It's time for me to act a fool. Because ladies and gentlemen, just like Seth Rollins, as you all see, I'm glowing. The sun is growing. Listen, we have burned it down. This thing is on fire, ladies and gentlemen. And you know what I got to do to put it out? Every week we start this fire. And every week I got to put it out. You should call me Captain Saver. Okay? Because I be saving everywhere out here. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, all I got to do is cut the lights off. And just like that, cool breeze. Listen, God even took the sun away from my eyes. Look at that. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you, peace.